Let's start off with Metallica.
So our good friends, our good personal friends in Metallica, they've been staying in the headlines lately for a couple reasons, right?
Yeah.
They had a few different things.
Yeah.
The main one being that James Hetfield is actually very soft.
He's a sensitive guy.
I'm kidding, people. Everybody has emotions, okay? But yeah. So it was actually pretty interesting. So James, they were at a show in like Brazil, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like opening up, like, yo, like, I'm kind of old now, and sometimes I feel like I'm lame, basically. He's like, I don't feel as cool as I used to be when I was like a young rock star, kind of. I mean,
People,
let me know if I'm misinterpreting anything here.
yeah, he definitely was feeling some insecurity. And people in the audience were like, "That's because you are." No.
My grandpa's older than you. I mean, younger. Fuck, I fucked that joke up.
He he will never not be cool. Like the only people that I could see like calling him something like that is up and coming new rock stars that wish that they could be him at that moment. You know what I mean?
You mean haters?
Yeah, the haters, like, like the Johnny Rottens versus the Pete Townsends. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things.
I feel like people don't give like famous people any leeway to be like a human being sometimes.
Well, yeah, and especially like coming from his era, like definitely not. Like, so that's just the only unfortunate thing. But I think that I don't know. I think he's always been like I've said that about him. Like it's his vulnerability that makes him so great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because the music is so hard and stuff like that. But you have songs like Unforgiven and even lots of songs and even watching his interviews, like he's never been afraid to like tell you what's on his heart, like not just on his mind. You know?
Well, that's one of the things I think of. I think that's why a lot of people, including myself, what's up, like Metallica so much, is because they do that. And I was thinking about that. Remember that movie that they did? What was it called? Some Kind of Monster, when they
Yeah.
were like showing the recording of their album,
Yeah.
and they were just like arguing the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even that is like, you have to be willing to show like a side of yourself like that it could be seen as like kind of annoying, I guess, if you're just watching these people argue. But it's like another thing, it's like these are still just people. Like even if you're super successful and you're like the world's biggest band, like you can still have problems. Like shit isn't
Exactly.
just like perfect all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like those are the guys who really have shown you that they're not perfect. I mean, if you put a whole bunch of bands together and I would never say that this band looks like they never argue with each other. Not with like Lars and Kirk in the mix. Like I just would never think that. And James, like they're not the guys that are just like, sure, man, that's okay. No.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk to Dave Mustaine about that.
Yeah.
That's true though.
Right.
And then what else were they saying? There was Kirk was talking about how they were right about the whole Napster thing,
Yeah.
which is so funny. Like, I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but back in the day, like Napster was like the first kind of like song streaming platform. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And I remember, I feel like I only know this because they made fun of him in South Park on this. Mm-hmm. Because this was a little before my time, but it's like I remember Lars was like leading the crusade against
Yeah.
Napster, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, guys, like, I don't think you understand. Like, this is going to destroy the industry, and this is going to be really bad for so many people, blah, 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 blah. And the popular sentiment at the time was just like, shut up, you rich fuck. Like, you got so much money. You're going to be mad at us for trying to listen to some music without having to pay for it?
Right, yeah, but it ended up being really, really bad. I mean, like, I just remember some award show, like, when I was younger, and, like, the Napster guy being, like, on there and saying, I think he shouted out Metallica or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it went down. I just remember some award show. Was it MTV? They might have had him give an award or something like that.
Wait, you mean like the CEO of Napster was on the award show?
Wasn't he?
I don't remember that. I never saw that. That's cool though.
Somebody had on a Napster hat. I don't
And
remember
he had
exactly.
beef. He started beef with Lars and the boys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Well,
right.
it's funny though, because like it's totally right. They're totally right because I mean, the music industry has gotten so less powerful because of that. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a good thing.
Me too.
It like we live in this era where anybody can put out whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, it's like there was like 5 gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like imagine like we got a meeting with Clive Davis or some shit, right? And like he likes our music, but I don't know, one of us said some shit that he didn't like. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess no one will ever hear our music now.
Yeah, you can't say that. Either that or they come in and they tell you to say something. You know,
Right.
they tell you to say a brand's name, or they tell you to shout out some person, mention this person, like, and you don't want to, and they want you to do that. Like, that's not cool. So I do think, like, it's better, because it's like a lot of these guys, they got major deals, they got major record deals, right? Like Metallica and stuff like that. And that's cool. You made millions and millions of dollars, and that's awesome. Yeah. But you only got a percentage of what you actually made. You know, I believe 11% to be exact. You only got that. And then you had to divvy that up between the whole band.
Oh, you got the numbers.
I got the numbers. I had a book on the recording industry, and it's like the songwriter, unless you own your publishing, that's why, you know, that's why people get, you know, that's why people die trying to get their publishing. I'm just put it like that.
Who are you talking about?
Nobody in particular. People just die. It's the earth, you know? That's just how it goes. People die
That's
trying
true.
to cross the street. Like,
That's
you
true.
know? So, like, you know, yeah, you get that, but I've heard about the tales of touring. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're a big bad rock star, but you can't go to sleep because you have, like, all these tours. If you had to do it yourself, you would not book yourself like that. You would not. Nobody would. You can't see your kids grow up. Like, you can't see your wife, your loved ones and stuff. And then you're eating from, like, the gas station. You're, like, you know, you're having, like, a Slim Jim meal.
What's
you
wrong
know,
with that?
every day. Not me.
Wait, we're gonna act like gas station hot dogs aren't delicious?
Exactly. That's, I mean, my system would overload from that. Whatchamacallit. I have made Slim Jim rice, though, before. I have done it. It's so good. Like,
Wait,
you
what
know...
do you mean?
Okay, so you know how people can make like Cajun rice? How it has like sausages in it and stuff like that? Well, you do it like that. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you put the rice in like the same way you would make rice, and then you cut up the Slim Jims, and then you put them in there. Because I was here in Texas, and I already know how to do like Spanish rice and stuff like that with real sausages. And like I wanted to make it that night, and the closest thing, everything closes so early here in Texas, and I didn't want to go all the way out to like Walmart or Kroger or whatever to like get just sausages. So I'm like, what can I use? I was like, I like Slim Jim. I went to the 7-Eleven and I just got some Slim Jim and I just cut them up and put them in the rice. It was so tasty.
You made Jim a little more slim?
I definitely did. So if we ever had a tour and all we were eating were Slim Jims, I would definitely make a Slim Jim rice and we could like, you know, it wouldn't be terrible.
Well, good to know. Keep that in the back of my mind.